Alright everyone, these are the finals. The final match of the day. Best of 5 between Art and SpeakNow. Oh, there we go. Let's delete all this. Don't want to bother him. It's the middle of his fight. Let's turn on our upper window region. There you guys go. If you can recognize the pictures, that's all you really need. Alright, we have a Aggro Shaman versus Handlock. Or Reno Lock. Not sure if it's Handlock or Reno Lock anymore. Once Reno goes, are people still going to play Handlock? Art decides to trade his Golem with the Mistress of Mixtures. Calls out Small Time Buccaneer. Gets patches. Doesn't have a weapon in hand, so he won't be able to buff the Small Time Buccaneer. Down at the bottom, SpeakNow could play his Doomsayer or his Cabal Courier. Doomsayer would be good to absorb the hit from Lava Burst, but then again, Art could just use Flame Tongue Totem. Get a whole bunch of extra attack for no real cost.
So many possibilities.
Cabal Courier is probably the better use of mana. And that's what he goes for. Dragonfire Potion, very good against an aggro shaman. Cruelly Unshackled? No. No. Does not want that. He goes for Mirror Image instead, thinking his later game cards are better than the Dragonfire Potion. Gives the attack buff to Small Time Buccaneer. Trades patches to get rid of the Cabal Courier. Throws out the Flame Tongue Totem to give himself an additional 4 attack, bringing SpeakNow down to 19 health on turn 4. SpeakNow plays Mirror Image into Doomsayer. He'll probably trade his Golem and his Small Time Buccaneer to get rid of the 2 Mirror Images. Then it gets complicated. He'll have to roll for spell damage. If he does that, he won't have mana for his Lava Burst. This was a good play by SpeakNow. Knowing full well he wouldn't have the mana to use 2 Lava Bursts. He'd need another Lightning Bolt too. And to use up that much burn on anything but his face would really hurt Art in the future. He can't play anything else. He's going to roll on the totem, it looks like. Overall, a good play by SpeakNow. Gets the Taunt Totem, not what he was looking for. Even if he had gotten it, it wouldn't have been enough. The board is now cleared. SpeakNow has the advantage. Calls for Kazakis, goes for a 1-cost spell. So he can use it right now, a 5-cost spell, so he can use it the next turn, or he goes for the 5-cost. He'd be best going for the 1/1 sheep. Yeah, the 1/1 sheep is probably the better option.
Job's done.
And the potion he creates is 4 damage to all minions and add 2 random demons to your hand. Gotta be careful what demons you get in your hand, though. This is why I was saying the 1/1 sheep was better, but then again, he can't see what I'm seeing. He could use Siphon Soul to get rid of it, bringing back 3 more health. That's probably the best use of mana on this turn. Art's down to just 4 mana. He could roll for spell damage. If he does, he can get rid of... He decides instead to use up his Southsea deckhand. Not a bad use of mana. A 1 mana card to get rid of a 4 mana card. Calls for some Spirit Wolves. SpeakNow can now play his Mountain Giant. Decides instead to use Sylvanas. If he had some spell damage, the Kazakis Potion, yeah, deal 4 damage to all minions would just get rid of it entirely. He might want to wait, since he couldn't know that. He could life tap now, bringing down the cost of his Mountain Giant down to just 3 mana on the next turn. Or he could play the Blood Imp.
Job's done.
Decides to tap. Up at the top, Art is going to roll for spell damage, and he gets Taunt. Then plays Spirits. Gets 2 more 2/3 Taunt minions. Down at the bottom, SpeakNow decides to use Hellfire. And then Mountain Giant. Thought the extra mana cost was worth not having 3 damage done to his minion. Art has nowhere near lethal yet. He's in trouble. It looks like SpeakNow has this one. He's made it to the late game. He's survived. He's forced his opponent to use a lot of burn. And the Doomsayer Mirror Image combo was absolutely glorious. Gets the Fiery Bat. SpeakNow going to probably use the second-rate Bruiser since his opponent has 3 minions on the board and needs the protection. Then he can use Defender of Argus to further buff and execute with his Mountain Giant. He could use the Mortal Coil to get additional card draw against the Jade Golem, most likely. He doesn't want 1 damage done to his face. Meanwhile, Art at the top of the board has Lava Burst and Lightning Bolt. That's a total of 10 damage he can do right now. And given what he has on the board and the... Is that Jade Claws? Yeah, that's Jade Claws. He would need just 4 damage, which is exactly what he'll have.
I'm not red.
He'll then use Spellbreaker on either the spell damage or he'll use it on the spell damage totem. And then call out the Blood Imp just cuz. Then Mortal Coil away, Fiery Bat. And he draws into Reno. Let's all hope it's not a turn too late. Art cannot pull a win out of this one. He could use Lava Burst to remove the second-rate Bruiser. But that's 12 damage right there. Totemic Call gets himself a Taunt Totem. Probably the best thing he could have hoped for. He can't get a second spell damage totem. Now while the Silence one is still alive. It's just kind of stuck there. Goes with Blood Mage Thanos. Then Lava bursts away the face. Into Lightning Bolt. SpeakNow. Likely to use Reno if he can't just pull the win out right now. He's and that's lethal. He would have lost Reno anyway. That would have been tragic. SpeakNow takes the first round. Let's update our scoreboard. Alright, waiting for SpeakNow to begin the next round. He needs to win 2 more rounds to take home the grand prize. Looks like Art's gonna stick with Aggro Shaman.
Watch your
Meanwhile, SpeakNow's gonna go with Miracle Rogue. A lot of Gadgetzan Auctioneer activators here. He wants to keep it the way it is. Unless he's gonna draw into patches. He's not hoping to get patches. He does not get patches. You're always worried about drawing into patches in your mulligan. Even so, at worst, it's a stone-tusked boar
I'm in charge now.
with pirates. Let's turn back on the window region so you guys can read a little more legibly. SpeakNow is looking what he's got. He could coin into...
So many options.
He could use both coins and then call out SI7 agent to remove the small-time Buccaneer, because his opponent's likely going to have a weapon on hand. Thing is, though, he's also going to have a totem golem, too. Art has a very good opening hand right now. SpeakNow is a complicated one. It's good in the right hands, with the right conditions.
Choose soon.
SpeakNow has to do something. Is he going to play the small-time Buccaneer? Is he going to use his coin to call out a weapon, too? Better hurry. Decides to trade his patches with the other patches. Art will likely use Spirit Claws along with South Sea Deckhand, or he could use Totem Golem instead. He then trades with the other pint-sized Buccaneer. Am I saying his name right? Small-time Buccaneer, sorry. Small-time Buccaneer. SpeakNow is an interesting turn here as well. He could use 3 spells into Edwin if he wanted, making it an 8/8. That's a pretty big risk, though. He could hero power and take care of the South Sea Deckhand or the small-time Buccaneer. Goes for the Buccaneer. Up at the top, Art's going to use his other South Sea Deckhand and a Totem Golem, most likely, or he could use the Flame Tongue Totem instead. If he does that, it would add +2 to both of his South Sea Deckhands. That'd be 6 damage done this turn instead of just... Sorry, 8 damage done this turn instead of just 4. Bringing his opponent down to 15 to 14 health, depending on whether or not he uses a weapon charge, and that's exactly what he does. SpeakNow's down to just 14 health on turn 3. It's not looking good. This is a very complicated hand still. He should probably use Counterfeit Coin into SI7 on the Flame Tongue, then attack with his weapon. Get rid of the Flame Tongue. It won't make his opponent have anywhere near lethal for another couple turns. Although he probably should have used the coin itself. He doesn't want to tip his hand that he has a coin. No, he wants to get rid of the Flame Tongue. Unless he wants to take that damage on the face when he hits it. Up at the top, Art has Tunnel Trog along with Totem Golem, turning his Tunnel Trog into a 2/3 for 1 mana. He could roll for Taunt Totem first. He's going to get spell damage instead, making sure to play that Totem Golem on the other side of the Flame Tongue. Uses the last of his weapon charges to remove the SI7 agent. So many spells. Unfortunately, they do not work with each other. He's going to use Coin, then Edvin if he wants. He's going to use Prep. He can make the most dangerous minion there is. If he plays all these cards at once, it'll cost him the remainder of his hand, though. But his opponent has such a small hand right now, it doesn't really matter. Might want to wait to use Evan until the end of the turn, though.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
Decides not to. Goes for the 6/6 instead. Art nearly has... That's... that's 9 damage. He's 1 off of lethal. What does Art do? He can trade with the small-time Buccaneer, keeping his totem golem alive. Decides to go for face. If he draws any damage whatsoever, it's over. SpeakNow cannot catch a break. Even if he managed to get Gadget Sand, it would not have mattered. Make sure to keep 1 weapon charge available so small-time Buccaneer can trade well with Tunnel Trog. And there's Jade Lightning. It's over. Art has taken the 2nd round. SpeakNow, unfortunately, cannot make Miracle Rogue work this time. It's now 1-1. Both opponents now need 2 more wins in order to take home the grand prize.
Valera versus Medivh.
Let the games begin.
Watch your back.
Looks like he's sticking with Miracle Rogue versus Art's Freeze Mage, Control Mage. SpeakNow has Questing Adventure along with Counterfeit Coin. Could use that in turn 2. Probably doesn't want to risk it though. Up at the top, Art has Frostbolt, so we'll probably take care of whatever Questing Adventure happens. SpeakNow has no Pirates yet, so he can't call out Patches. Nothing says my opening hand sucks like not having Patches show up on turn 1. Art's going to use Acidic Swamp Ooze to remove the weapon. SpeakNow has Small-Time Buccaneer available. Can use that, along with the weapon, and the new Patches to remove the Acidic Swamp Ooze. Turn 4, likely going to use Tomb Pillager. Art at the top. He'll use Frostbolt, spending 2 mana to remove a 1 mana minion. It's early on in the game. SpeakNow will play his Tomb Pillager, still going well on tempo. Decides to use Fireball against it. Apologies, looks like we went offline briefly. Not sure why it set up and then reset. Anyway. Still watching the preview, I'm not sure why it says we're offline. Back to the game, SpeakNow. Debating whether or not to use Questing Adventurer.
Give me a quest.
Conceals it as well, preventing it from being hit by any spells, unless those spells hit the entire board instead. Uses Volcanic Potion. He might want to use Blood Mage Thalanos first, so it brings it up to 3 damage instead of just 2. Does not want to use Blood Mage Thalanos yet, though.
Can I light your fire?
Instead uses Twilight Flamecaller. Pretty good combo of cards to use there to remove well, anything. The biggest threat on the board that would have been the questing adventurer.
This guy's toast.
Over the top, Art's going to play his mind control deck. With Rogue, you hardly have more than 3 minions on the board ever. Unless they have a Violet teacher. It's pretty unlikely, besides to use Forbidden Flame to remove the SI7 agent. SpeakNow has nothing but buff spells, removal spells, nothing he wants to use on this board. Art's going to probably use his Water Elemental, which when attacked will freeze SpeakNow in place. Uses the remainder of his mana to bring out his Ice Block. Huh. That's new. SpeakNow's going to use Prep, and is he going to use Sap on the...
I wonder.
Yeah, this is getting weird. We might have to reset the game. We have giant Azure Drake kind of just hanging out in front of us. It says enemy turn, but it shows her animation. Yeah, let's jump out real quick. We'll be right back. The remainder of the finals. Art and SpeakNow. Set to reset. Sometimes it glitches out, nothing we can control.
Crystals! Fresh from Kazakis.
I don't want to interrupt his turn or anything, but we want to get as much of this action back as possible. Let's turn off the window region while we wait.
In line.
Gets Usher of Souls from Cabal Courier.
We hunger for vengeance.
Hopefully we'll enable spectator mode in just a minute. Thank you, Art. Let's turn the window back on so you guys can see those cards a little more effectively. So let's use Forgotten Torch along with his Hero Powder to remove Harrison Jones. Wait, Harrison Jones. Was that... That's weird. Harrison Jones... No, that's Reno Jackson holding it, I think. Or just some random explorer. Just commenting on the artwork.
The best deals anywhere.
SpeakNow, believing he's safe from lethal for another turn or so. Plays a whole bunch of spells. Get a whole bunch of card draw. He's got Conceal as well, so he can give himself a pretty strong minion. He's going to use Sap against the Usher of Souls. And Backstab on the Cabal Courier, very good. Currently has a total of 8 cards left in his deck. So he uses Conceal to wrap it all up. At the top, Art knows that he has a big, awful minion to deal with. He could use Blizzard to freeze it in place. He could use... He's going to use Fireland's Portal, give himself a 5-cost minion.
Get 'em, boys.
Terrible. Doppelgangster. Fortunately, Doppelgangster will not help him. SpeakNow is going to use Fan of Knives, give himself 2 more cards. He also has Eviscerate, along with Backstab, which would have been helpful a second ago. He's going to play Tomb Pillager.
Thank you.
He's got 3 mana left. He could backstab one of his own cards to give himself +2/+2 on the Edwin. Art desperately needs to find a Flame Strike. But instead he's going to probably use Blizzard this turn, followed by Usher of Souls.
Get in line.
He still has Ice Block. So he has at least one more turn beyond whatever one that Ice Block goes down on. Then I'll use Eviscerate to get rid of the Usher of Souls.
Almost out of cards.
He doesn't want to draw too many more cards.
I got the best deals anywhere.
That'll be his last card. He can't afford a lot of fatigue. If he casts any spells, and he has 2, that's 4 more cards he's going to draw, which is 6 more damage. If he casts 2 more spells, it's over. Art knows this. All he needs to do is hit face a few times. And since he has Ice Block, he has to worry about lethal in the next turn.
You require my assistance?
I'm out of cards.
And that's it. Swashbuckler. He has to hope for Swashbuckler that gets him something. Give me a second. I have to address this real quick. Gets Volcanic Potion.
Who goes there?
Sorry for that. Brings him down to just 1 HP. If he casts any spells, it's over. Frostbolt's gonna kill him. He's gonna cast Arcane Intellect first. He's gonna get Bran and Kazakis. If he gets Kazakis, he can use a 1 mana potion to get 3 damage. He's likely to get 3 damage. 1 cost, 2 damage to all minions? No. Summon a 2/2 demon. He wants to do 2 damage to all minions, I think, but won't be enough to save him. Summon a friendly minion that died this game. Unless he got a taunt, it's not going to help. Deal 3 damage. There it is. The lethal he needs.
Well played.
And then hero power. Exact lethal, exact amount of mana, down to the wire. Third round goes to Art, bringing it up to 1-2. Let's update that scoreboard. Second, I have to talk to Owl, make sure he knows what's going on. Not sure if Owl got 3rd or 4th place. I don't want to keep him from his money. I want to make him, you know, want to come back and play with us some more.
Watch your back.
Okay, SpeakNow is now going for the 3rd time with his Miracle Rogue. He came so close last time, and now he has to face off against a Pirate Aggro Warrior. He needs a lot of control. He needs Fan of Knives against... There's Fan of Knives.
I'm in charge now.
And I just gotta hope that his opponent gets a whole bunch of 1 health minions. Oh yeah, it's not exactly pirate. He has dragons in there too. It's a hybrid dragon pirate deck, which is just as weird as it sounds. effective? We'll see. Decides to trade with Small-Time Buccaneer. Wants to stop from becoming a 3-2 on another turn. He's going to equip a weapon, trade with Nazaf's first mate, then hit face with Patches. With 2 mana, he's going to use Fairy Dragon, then get rid of Patches. SpeakNow's at a disadvantage. He can counterfeit coin Tomb Pillager, forcing his opponent to trade his... No, he's going to use Fan of Knives, not only for the card draw, but to remove the Fairy Dragon. Next turn, he's likely to use Tomb Pillager.
Who goes there?
My blade be thirsty.
Plays Frothing Berserker along with his Small-Time Buccaneer. Art decides to eviscerate Frothing Berserker, always a good idea. And since he spent 2 cards doing it, he gets a 6/6 Edwin, which Art can promptly deal with if he plays his Cochrane Elite, then trades his Small-Time Buccaneer.
Who goes there?
Decides to put out a second Small-Time Buccaneer, then bring out his Fire War Axe immediately to trade and get rid of it.
Thank you.
SpeakNow plays Tomb Pillager.
For the war chief.
Art immediately decides to play Cochrane Elite and remove the Tomb Pillager. Art with Ragnaros in hand. I've not seen Ragnaros all day.
Thank you.
SpeakNow wants more coins, so he plays the other Tomb Pillager. He could play the Blackwing Corruptor and then trade with the Tomb Pillager to get rid of it. He could just play it and hit face.
Wield the power.
Decides he wants to hold on to board control. He loses his charge though. And Small-Time Buccaneer loses his charge as well.
I got the best deals anywhere.
SpeakNow finally gets his Gadgetzan Auctioneer on the board. And coins for some draw. And counterfeit coins as well. He could counterfeit coin for Fan of Knives. He doesn't want to use Sap, because the Blackwing Corruptor will just get 3 more damage to deal. If only he had prep. What will he do? He's going to use Sap on the Blackwing Corruptor, but if he does that, he'll just get to have 3 more damage done to his Gadgetzan and then have it get hit by the Small-Time Buccaneer. Uses Sap, draws into Harrison Jones.
Choose soon.
Uses Cold Blood, bringing it to an 8/4. Gets a second Gadgetzan Auctioneer. It's getting close. Not enough mana to use his Ragnaros yet. Decides to go with the Blackwing Corruptor all over again,
The power.
predictably, and use a Small-Time Buccaneer to remove Gadgetzan Auctioneer. Armor's up. He's got no weapons, so Harrison is not really all that useful right now.
Give me a quest.
He can then trade the Small-Time Buccaneer with the Blackwing Corruptor. He's got 2 mana left. He might want to save that for the auctioneer on the next turn. Decides to conceal it now anyway. He's got no other spells to use with the auctioneer now. Ragnaros. Art's hoping to hit face. Art instead hits the questing adventurer. SpeakNow's in trouble.
Ha, this guy's toast.
He's going to hit face. Is he going to spend the backstab as well? No, he's going for face some more. It's a race for the face now. Art can use his Twilight Guardian. He's going to use Blackwing Corruptor, though. And then Twilight Guardian. Protecting himself. SpeakNow open for face. He gets faced.
I got the best deals anywhere.
He'll make sure to use backstab on the Twilight Guardian first. Currently has a total of 7 cards left in his deck. It's Leroy Jenkins as well. It's getting down to the wire. Also gets concealed. Pulls the Blackwing Corruptor back again. Gets Eviscerate, and then manages to combo it, and removes the Ragnaros. He will have lethal next turn if his opponent can't go with a taunt or a board clear, and since he has the Curator, there's a taunt right there.
The menagerie is for guests only.
Also gets a Fierce Monkey. I want to just play the Fierce Monkey right now, guaranteeing him some protection. Goes for the Fierce Monkey.
I'm almost out of cards.
He's going to want to play the Swashbuckler first. Gets himself Blood to Ichor. He's got +1 spell damage, though, so he could trade Blood to Ichor along with his Azure Drake. Get rid of the Curator. Then trade his Gadgetzan to get rid of the Fierce Monkey. He doesn't want any more card draw, though.
I wonder.
So where it gets tricky.
I'm out of cards.
He also has Preparation. You do not want Preparation at the bottom of your deck.
That belongs in a museum.
That was the right time to play Harrison, seeing as how he couldn't get any more cards he wanted. Up at the top, he gets his own Blood to Ichor. He could use it to get rid of pretty much anything. Could also play Draconoid Crusher. He could play... He won't have lethal this turn, but he can still mess up his opponent's board pretty well. And since he's now drawing into Fatigue, SpeakNow is still in big trouble.
Choices.
He's going to want a hero power before he uses Sir Finley. He doesn't want to get rid of the Gadgetzan, though. If he gets rid of the Auctioneer, he makes it so his opponent can use spells with impunity. And he does just that.
Wield the power.
That's 2 damage on the next turn. It's just short of lethal. Trading these guys with him, then hitting face. This will only give him 10. That's 11. It's not enough. There's no way for SpeakNow to get lethal on this turn. And with the additional minions summoned by Leroy Jenkins, he's spelling his own doom on the next turn. If this had just 1 less health, if he had just 1 more attack, he would have won this. Extremely close games. Art has won this match.
Too soon.
Decides to go with Prep. simply not enough. He's gonna trade his minions away.
Well played.
Fierce Monkey. Decide not to use Leroy on this turn, in a last-ditch effort to try and save himself. Gets himself Shapeshift, that's an additional armor and an additional attack. And then plays Fierce Monkey to protect his face. It's just not enough.
Job's done.
And Art takes it. Congratulations to everyone that played today. Art is this month's champion. Runner-up is SpeakNow. And the additional standings. Let me make sure I'm not calling it too soon. I've called it too soon before. Nope, that's the end of it. Alright guys, that's the end of the tournament. Your winner is Art. Let me go back to the Art area, the Discord room. Make sure this is all correct. 9393. Put some space between there. And there you go. This month's champion is Art9393. This has been the Arcana Gaming EU February final.